How y'all doing? Facts for the Ghost of Podcast. Today's segment is going to detail the game that took place yesterday in Germany between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, in which the Kansas City Chiefs were victorious, 21-14. And what I saw in this game was nothing unusual by the Kansas City Chiefs as far as in their approach and the game plans that Andy Reid draws up every given Sunday, and the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and also Travis Kelce, and how they just, for the most part, dominate teams with just basically the schematics and Patrick Mahomes' IQ as far as in reading defenses and his ability to see the field when the play breaks down, and how he could scramble out the pocket. He can either use his legs to get the first down, or he can scramble to a point where he can throw the long distance ball, if that makes sense, or throw a home run to one of the receivers. And in this case, and I guess you could say this is a concerning factor maybe, but and this is clearly my opinion, but as of right now, I don't know if the Kansas City Chiefs have a number one receiver, deep threat receiver, if that makes sense. I guess maybe that's why you could say that Kansas City Chiefs are struggling in the second half of games, because they just don't have a number one receiver, in my opinion. They have receivers, talented receivers, but I just don't think they're I'll say they're talented, and yeah, I mean, they have to be, not even serviceable. They have to be slightly better than average receivers, because the Kansas City Chiefs are 7-2. I know for the most part the reason why they're 7-2 is because of Patrick Mahomes. But okay, yeah, we know Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches in the game, period. So yeah, Andy Reid has a lot to do with that too. Travis Kelce also. But yeah, the Chiefs receiving core might be a little concerning, because I just don't see a number one receiver, a deep threat receiver right now. Again, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but that could be a reason why they're struggling in the second half of these games. When in the first half, they played lights out football, right? And in case in point, this game, the defense was just all over the field and playing at a high level, and they got out to a 21-0 lead in the first half, and the Dolphins offense couldn't get anything going. They just I ain't gonna say they look lethargic out there or anything like that, but they just couldn't get anything going because the Kansas City Chiefs defense was just that good in the first half. And one play in particular, a pass was thrown to Tyreek Hill in the second quarter, and immediately, once he caught the pass, he was hit and he fumbled the ball. And what's his name, man? Gosh. Well, actually, 21 recovered it, and then number 6 is the one who took it to the house. I want to say his last name is Cook. I could be wrong, but yeah, he took it to the house, and then that's what gave the Kansas City Chiefs a 21-0 lead, right? And they went into halftime leading 21-0. Again, but the second half was a different story, because the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't get their offense rolling. And the Dolphins, yeah, for the most part, they wasn't in the game until they scored their first touchdown. And then actually what set the stage for the game possibly going into overtime is when I guess you could consider this a flaw by Patrick Mahomes, but perhaps not. But and for the most part, when Patrick Mahomes does this, he makes plays. This is what makes Patrick Mahomes so great. This is why his resume, his accolades are enormous. This is why he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, because He makes plays with his legs and his arm. He has that ability. That's what separates him from most of the quarterbacks that's playing in the league this year, is his ability to either make plays with his legs or his arm. But sometimes it gets him in trouble, and I think, in the third quarter, I really felt he should have took the same play and just throw it to the running back. And, okay, you get the first down fine, but if you don't, just punt the ball away. Don't get a Dolphins a short field where they can, get back in the game, and that's what he did. He tried to make a play. I believe it was 3rd and long, and the pocket collapsed, and Patrick Mahomes, he still was trying to make a play. Instead of throwing it to the running back that was open, what did they call that? A screen pass. Yeah, it was a screen pass that he could have threw to the running back, but he didn't. He tried to make a play, looked downfield, nobody was open, and he didn't notice the linebacker that was behind him smacked the ball out of his hand. He fumbled, and the Dolphins got the ball in great field position. They were able to punch their ticket in the end zone, and now they was down 21-14. Now we got a game. So we go to the fourth quarter, and of course we know what happened in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs defense ultimately prevailed. But again, if you want to say anything that was concerning about the Chiefs going forward, again, I guess you could say their receiving core. Because I just don't see a deep threat number one receiver right now. Could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, for the game, Patrick Mahomes he completed 20 out of 30 passes, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tua completed 21 out of 34 passes, 193 yards and a touchdown. That's really, the only stat that kind of stood out to me. Of course, defense for the Chiefs, what they were doing, getting fumbles, putting pressure on Tua for the most part of the game. Yeah, that stood out too. But again, currently the Chiefs are 7-2. They have the number 1 seed in the AFC. If the playoffs were in today, they'll get a first round bye. And actually, they're on track as far as in my Super Bowl pick. The Eagles are my other Super Bowl pick. I picked them 2 teams to be, to represent next year's Super Bowl. And the Philadelphia Eagles won yesterday 28-23, defeating the Dallas Cowboys. They have the league's best record at 8-1. Cincinnati is also coming. They 5-3. They didn't win 4 straight games. Joe Burrow is playing lights out. Well, come on, Joe Burrow's elite. He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the game, so that's nothing surprising. And then Baltimore is playing at a high level. Lamar Jackson, MVP candidate. So is Patrick Mahomes, so is Joe Burrow, MVP candidates. And the Ravens are 7-2, leading the AFC North, of course. So those are only 2 teams I see threatening the Kansas City Chiefs as of right now, as far as in who will ultimately win the AFC divisional crown and punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. But as of right now, in my opinion, my pick is Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all I have to report. Y'all take care. You stay blessed out there, you and your families. Facts from the Ghost of Podcast. DJ Lottie Dottie. The likes I appreciate. The views I appreciate more. One love. Later.